but I never underestimate.
Oh, I love that!
Then I found you on the driveway at your best friend's house. And I bet you wanna drive away, but you're 10 shots down.
I can't say no to free shots.
Cause it's the same old, until it's not. You could change it if you wanted to. And you're the same old, until I'm gone. So tell me what you're gonna do. Now we're yelling in the backyard. Everybody's got their popcorn. And I'm looking for a way out. They're begging us for more. But I know it's all the same old shit, just a different kind of bathroom. And I'm looking everywhere I can, just to see a different part of you. Cause it's the same old, until it's not. You could change it if you wanted to. And it's the same old, until I'm gone. So tell me what you're gonna do. It's the same old shit. 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 It's the. Cause it's the same old, until it's not. You could change it if you wanted to. And it's the same old, until I'm gone. So tell me what you're gonna do.
Oh, I love that!
Hello, everyone. It's so good to have you all here. In this second session, or this second masterclass, we're all going to learn different ways of engaging our students, but very importantly, how to boost their performance. So let's start taking notes. Ready, set, go. Let's begin. Enjoy.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this second masterclass titled Technology Tools that Boost Students' Performance by Profesorados in Inglés. My name is Dan Stewart, and I will be one of your hosts this evening. Part of our labor as teachers is being able to connect with our students during this social distancing period. That is why learning and applying effective technological tools is essential. If you would like to try out the activity that we will have presented today, we recommend the use of a computer. And if you have any questions or comments, please send them in the chat and we will gladly pass them to the speaker near the end of this presentation. Enjoy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diana Godinez, and I will be your host too. Tonight's speaker is a very well-prepared professional. She's Magister Patricia de León. She is a system engineer, graduated from Universidad Francisco Marroquín. She has a master's degree in high-level teaching from Universidad Mesoamericana, and is a legal sworn translator, English, Spanish, and vice versa, registered in the Ministry of Education of Guatemala. Currently, she is studying for her TESOL certification. She has more than 10 years of teaching experience. She has been and is currently a professor in the faculties of engineering, business management, humanities, and medicine of Universidad Mesoamericana. As an engineer, she has found the joy of teaching technology to future teachers to help them adapt to today's needs. She loves books, music, technology, and teaching. With no further presentations, she is with us, Magister Patricia de León. Remember that if you were not able to connect via Zoom, you can follow us via Facebook Live in the Universidad Mesoamericana Quetzaltenango fan page. Welcome, Miss Patty.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you. It's a pleasure to give this second masterclass for all of you teachers and all of you who want to get a little bit more involved in what is technology, especially for today's needs. And I'm going to start with the survey first. So I'm going to share my screen. I want to get to know a little bit of information from you guys before we begin. And then we can start with the technology tool that we have prepared for today. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Hopefully you guys can see the information presented. And I'm going to ask you guys to go to this website, okay, menti.com, and enter the following code, okay? I'll try to send it in the chat for those of you who are in the chat. And if you could please answer this small survey that we're passing by. Okay, let me pass it in the chat. Menti.com, and this is the code. So if you guys can please participate, we would like to hear your answers first. Let me, okay. Let me know if we are able, go ahead. Okay, so we have people already participating, that's great. Okay, so the question is, how often do you use other technology options besides PowerPoint in your classes? Okay, that's great. A lot of people use different technology tools. Okay, remember if you are participating through Facebook Live, you can copy this website, and this is the code for you to participate if you want to enter your comments. Okay, so we have most of you. Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, so the first one, first question, a lot of people are using, so always and often. Okay, now let's, we have always, often, and sometimes. We have very few with hardly ever and never. That's great. So that means you guys know some technology tools already. So let's go to the next question, please. Can you guys tell me what apps or websites have you used or are currently using for teaching?
I've been using Padlet.
Okay, great. Can you write it there?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to close this. Okay, so we're looking at the different ones. Kahoot is a very famous one that we use a lot. We have Quizlet also, that's a great one. Zoom, Educa Play, Flipgrid, great. Canva, okay, Jamboard, Genially, Emails, great. Meet, Scrabble. Bamboozled, okay, that's a good one too. MindMaster.
Good evening, everyone. I am using Zoom and Classroom.
Zoom and Classroom, great, okay. One for video conferences, right? We have Peer Deck, Genially, okay, so these are for people who haven't seen the other ones besides Kahoot. These are other applications you could try to see. We have Nearpod, Quizzes, Canva, Educa Play is a really good one too. Socrative for making tests, okay? Awesome. Okay, and the last question. Thank you guys for your information. We're gonna go with the last one. Have you heard of Tommy?
Honestly, not. I'm not.
Okay, excellent. So Tommy is, this is the logo, if you guys haven't seen it. Okay, we have people who have. 81% who don't, okay. For now, let's see how many participants so far, 43. I'm gonna wait for a few more. Okay, that's excellent. We're going to wait for a few more. Grab in the chat. I'm going to keep checking the chat just in case. No, never. Okay. Okay, we have a few people here answering. Great. Okay, so we're going to close the voting now for now. Thank you for your information. This was a short survey to see how often you use technology in your classes, what type of applications or websites you have used before. And today's class is basically we're going to learn of Tommy Digital. Tommy Digital, in case you haven't heard of it before or in case you have, we're going to do the class to show you how to create classes and to help students performance, to boost students' performance and to help people participate. Remember nowadays, it's pretty hard for us teachers, especially with the online teaching, to have students participate in our classes, especially now that we just connect them and they don't connect their video or their video camera, we can't see if they're actually there listening or not. Sometimes they just connect and they go. And the idea is to make the classes a little bit more interactive for them to be paying attention and to be ready to be able to participate and to compete. They love to compete, right? So the idea is to add activities within your class, within your presentations, for your students to be able to participate and be immersed in the class. Okay, so today's topic, technology tool, is Tommy. Now for the activity today, you can either use a computer and follow the steps with me, or since this is going to be recorded, you can look at it again and just see how it works, see the different activities that we create. And then we're going to, you can create your class on your own or go back if you have a question or at the end of class, right? So either way, you can use the computer now to create your own classes at the same time that I am creating, or you can just pay attention to the different options that Tommy has to offer. Look at how we create our classes, and then you can create your own. Okay. The other thing that we normally do in a technology class, and some of my students are here, so they know how this works, is basically I give you the information of how to look at it from the point of view of a teacher, how to create the classes for your students, and they also have to learn and to see the point of view of the student, right? How are the students going to see your classes? What are the things that they have to do? Does it really attract their attention or not? Okay, so we're going to look at both the teacher's point of view in creating the classes and the students activities so you guys can see how it works. Okay, so you can see how it works as a teacher and as a student. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to close this. Thank you guys for participating. A lot of percentage don't know what Tommy is yet, so we're going to start with that for now. First thing we're going to do is we're going to we're going to go to this option. We're going to go to Google. If you guys want to start creating your classes, it's Tommy. You can write Tommy and it automatically gives you Tommy Digital, okay? It has the English version and the Spanish version. For now, we're going to use the English version. It doesn't really change the website. It's the same. We just changed the ES for EN, and we have the English version. Although there are some things you're going to be able to see further on that there are in Spanish. They tried to change the buttons in English, but the words, several things are still in Spanish when we change it to the English version. Okay, so hopefully you guys can enter here. Very simple for signing up. The first time, if you don't have an account, go ahead and sign up. And you would have to fill in with the required information, your name, your last name. It's very important that for now you place your role as a teacher. Enter your email address, confirm the email address, and add your password. Okay, basic information that any application asks us to enter in order to have our own account. So basically nothing extraordinary, just your information for a class account. As a teacher, remember that as teachers, choose the role of teacher. Now I have my account already created here, and we're going to be able to see here. This is your dashboard. Okay, in the dashboard, we have all of these options to the left side. Now, we have the options of creating a new class, of exploring classes that other teachers have created before, which is a good option in case we don't have time to create our class. That's a hint. The idea is for us to create our classes, but if we don't have time, other teachers have created them for us. We can add favorite classes, we have reports, and we can see our classes and our collections. Now, hold on, with this, everything that we're, at least the things that we see in technology class in FEM, we usually look for activities or applications, websites that are free, that we don't have to pay for using them. If you see the yellow option here, it's the premium version, okay? So premium version gives us a little bit more of things that we can do, but with the free version, we can do a lot. So we're gonna stay with the free version. In case you want to see, or you like the application a lot, and you see that there are other things that you want to include, go ahead and enter the premium version and pay the charge that they're asking for there. And you would be able to use a little bit more of the information that we have. More things are available in the paid version, okay? Now, let's go ahead and create our class. We're gonna start with from zero. We're gonna start our class from zero, so new class. We have to give our class a name. Obviously, we want to separate our classes. So for now, I'm gonna continue using the name of technology. So we're gonna talk about technology class. And we're gonna select the subjects that this class is going to talk about. So since we're doing this for FEM in English or for teachers or for teaching anything, you choose any of these options, okay, related to the topic that you're discussing. This helps us in the idea of if we're going to share our class or other teachers need to use our class, we have these tags that are going to help us. So in the future, for example, if we have to give a history class, it's we would be choosing history here, historia, and that would be the tag, so our class would appear to other teachers that want to use our class as well. Okay, so for now we're going to go with languages. So we're going to choose this one right now. Once we have the name, we select the subjects and we accept, and we create our new class. Okay. Now to the left side, we have a certain meter here where it tells us that we have for now 2 points out of 10, which means we have to complete these things for it to be considered a good class. So we need an image of the class and at least 4 questions for it to be considered a good class. So we have our score meter here. Now, the first thing we're going to do is obviously we're going to add an image to technology, we have the option here of adding the image there, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and choose, I have selected a couple of pictures here that I'm gonna use for the presentation. And I'm gonna use the logo from the university to add to my class. So I'm gonna choose the logo here. It automatically shows the logo and the picture here. We can give it a plus sign to make it bigger, to enlarge it and focus on only one part, or we can give it a minus and make it smaller, okay? To have the picture that we want there, okay? So we always are going to see this little check mark here. Make sure you check it so it is confirming that we're choosing this picture here, okay? We have the information there. We have our picture already selected. As you can see, our meter board just went up for 4 points, okay? It's saving. And it takes a little while to save, but it's going to say the changes are saved so far. Now let's look at, I'm looking at the chat just in case there's any questions that I need to answer during the presentation, okay? Next, we're going to add resources. Now, look at all the resources that we are able to add. Here, for example, we have a list of all the things that we can add. Everything that is in the crown yellow option, we cannot use, okay? But it's only 2 options, open-ended questions and a question poll. For now, these options are not available for us in the free version. Like I said before, if you wanted to use it, if you think that this application works for you, then you can go ahead and register for a premium account and have these options available to you. First thing we're gonna do, okay, look at all the options we have. We're gonna go through each one of them. We're gonna add first an image of the topic that we're going to discuss today. So first, like if you were doing this in PowerPoint, so instead of using PowerPoint, you can add everything, all the information you need to this website, to this application, and you don't need to use PowerPoint anymore. You don't need to go back and forth to the presentation and then to questions. Everything can be included here, okay? So you enter the resource name. So I'm gonna say, we're gonna talk about adjectives in this class, okay? And I'm going to drag files related here to my topic. So I'm going to create a word cloud here that talks about adjectives, okay? So this is the beginning, the first slide that my students are going to be able to see. So I add adjectives and I save, okay? We always have to save the information. So we have our information here. The first is an image, as you can see. This is the first resource that we're going to use. Now, let's go back and see what else we can go and add. We can add another resource, and I'm going to write a text document. So you can include information you want according to the topic we're discussing, okay? Here we have our movable board menu here that we can move around, and we're gonna add a title. So we're gonna go ahead and add the title adjectives. And we can add more information here that we want. So an adjective is a word that describes or modifies a person, sorry about that, a place, or a thing, okay? Now look at all the options we have for adding this information. Okay, we can make it, the ones that are in gray are not available for that option. For now, we have to the left, to the right, to the other, to the left, to the right, in the middle, okay? We can also use for this one, we can change, there's not many fonts we can choose from, but we can make it bigger, we can make it smaller. You can see here like a heading or a subheading. Anything that we can do, we can undo here in the button, undo and redo. We can also make a word in bold and italics, okay? And to make the word a little bit more visible, right? Okay, you can move this around. You can also add different your bullets here. So to make a list, so we're gonna say a place, a person, a thing, okay? You can take the bullets out. And we can also add an image, Okay, so here, this option would be like adding the information we would normally add in a Word document or maybe in the PowerPoint slide presentation that we have. Add the information here, everything you need, including an image. So I'm going to add an image so you guys can see that we can still add more information within this text option. So I'm going to look for this one, and I have another one that I want to add. So I accept. Okay. So here, basically text, information, a picture, anything else you want to add. I can also add, if I wanted to describe a little bit more of the adjectives here. Let's say I look for information, obviously, on the internet that I want to include for my students. Okay, so something like this. What is an example of an adjective? Or here, a complete, well, this is Grammarly. Examples of adjectives. Okay, something like this. More information that you want to add, you can look for and just copy and paste. And basically, you would be able to add more information for your students to see. Okay. So here, for example, I can copy this and add it to my screen. Okay, here in the bottom. Okay, copy and paste. As simple as that. So complete information on the text that you need to add for your presentation, and that would be it. So we're going to go ahead and say save. When we're finished including text, images, highlighting our information, we click on save. Okay. And it takes a while to save. It's getting there. We have to be a little bit patient sometimes with technology and our internet connection, but hopefully it's going to save in a second. Okay. Any questions so far? Let me see. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to close this just because it's taking a little while to save. Hopefully, maybe it's my internet connection. Hopefully it's that. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Let me see if I have my classes here already. Okay. For example, in case something like this happens, we always have to be careful with connection. We have already created our classes. As you can see, we have 2 resources here. We have the information of the classes here. Class we made in technology. It means that I have added 2 things so far. Okay. Now, if I need to add more information, like we don't have enough time to finish, we can go back and edit. So we can edit here. Let's check the resources we have so far. And this is the information that we had already inserted. Okay, so we didn't lose anything. Okay, it keeps saving. Now let's continue adding all sorts of resources, available resources we have so far. Okay, we have added a text document, we have added an image, and now we can also add a video. Okay, remember these types of classes are can be used for the flipped classroom idea, where you can give this as a scheduled class for your students, in case you're not teaching it online, or teach it online and watch the video with your students. So this works for both ways. You can schedule classes and you can do it in online mode as well. So we're gonna add a video here, video about adjectives. Very simple. I have a video already here that we can use, videos that people have created before. Make sure you check out the video and that it has all the information that you need to share with your students. So let's say that this video is the one that I need. Okay, so I like the video, I have watched it. I think the information is great. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy the link. You just need to copy the link and paste it here. Okay. Always click on the little check mark so we can add the information there. If there's something missing, there's going to be always, this option is going to be in gray, which means that there's not the information, that you have to insert is not complete. So make sure that you have the information and click on that little check button so you are saying that that's the video you want to upload. Okay. In case you don't, you can see you have the little trash can here that you can delete, and you can delete this resource for complete. Okay, so we have it there. We can also edit if you want to change the name of our title. And we have three resources for now. Okay, now the other thing, this is where we have our meter, and we say that we have 4 minimum questions that we have to ask. Resources, in this case, it's just text, information, videos, but there's no participation from your students, right? And the idea is for your students to be able to participate. So you can insert in between each of these resources questions that you can ask your students. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We have single choice questions, so it means that they only choose one of these options. So since it's about adjectives, I'm going to write a question. An adjective describes and I'm going to leave it blank. And remember, we have the options here: a verb, an adjective. I can write my multiple options. I can add up to 4 multiple options here as well. A noun or an adverb. Okay, I have 4 questions. Select the one that is correct. An adjective, describes a noun. Okay, so we have to select in green the option that is correct. You can also insert an image here, as you can see, and drag a file. Okay, so if you want to make it a little bit more fun for your students, go ahead and we're going to select one of the adjectives here and click on the little check mark. Okay, so this is a sort of an image to help your students pay more attention. Maybe they like to see the graphics. Okay, and at the top we have the seconds. How many seconds are you going to give your students to answer these questions? If they're competitive, they're going to be answering really quick. Okay, if it takes a little bit more time, the question is a little bit longer. You have up until 240 seconds to complete it, and you'll see why. There are some questions that take a little bit longer. For now, we're going to leave it for 20 seconds. I think it's a very fair time, and we're going to save. Okay, so we save the first resource for now, and we have our multiple choice question. The other resource that we have is a multiple choice, but in this case, we can decide if we can use more than one correct answer. Okay, the first one is only one correct answer. In this one, you can decide if there are more than 2 correct answers. So here, choose all the adjectives. Okay. So I'm going to add adjectives here. I'm going to say tall, run, add the different questions, short, and let's see, what's another verb? Read. Okay. Choose the correct answers. Okay. Choose all the adjectives. Again, look at the timing. Again, look at the image. If you want to add an image, go ahead. Okay. If you want to delete one of the answers, go ahead and delete it here in the trash can. For now, we have selected a multiple choice option. Okay, so we're gonna save. And now we have 2 resources so far. Check it out that our meter is still in under 4 questions. So we don't have a perfect class yet. Let's go ahead and add another resource. We can add the open-ended one. In this case, open-ended, I don't know about you, but in most of the applications, you have to be really careful about the type of open-ended questions that you create, because your students can answer in very different ways and you have to go back and grade it. The idea is for it to grade automatically, right? So you don't have to go back question by question and see if the answer is correct or not. But it has to be something that is really, really specific and the answer is just very obvious, okay? So be careful with the open-ended questions that you include in your tests or in your activities, because sometimes there are too many options that can be considered correct, okay? Let's go with the true and false question. Once again, another type of question. Look at the different types of questions that we have. Not only multiple choice, we have true and false as well. So we're going to say tall. Well, we already used tall, so I'm going to say rich is an adjective. True or false? We're going to say it's true. Okay, so we say, once again, the question, the timing is there, 20 seconds. You can look at how your class is going, okay, how your class is going for now. And we can add another resource. We don't have 4 questions yet, so our class is still not perfect. Okay, we don't have our meter here. We have 4 points out of 10. Now we're going to do an order question, but for that I'm going to add a little bit more of information. I'm going to add an image here that is related to a question that we can do in an order fashion. So I'm going to go ahead and add an image here. And I'm going to talk about the order of adjectives. So I have already something here that I think it's this one. Let me see. Let me, okay, it added a picture. Let me see if it added my picture. No. Okay, let me add my text. Sorry about that. Adjective order. And drag and drop. Okay, so we're going to describe not only what are adjectives, but how do we write them in a sentence, right? We want to see the correct order of a sentence. So we add an image here. Okay, remember this is our class. This is how our class is going to flow. And we're going to wait for this resource to be added. Okay, so now we have the adjective order, we have a picture, and now I can add a resource related to an activity where students have to place the words in order. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say complete complete this sentence using the adjectives in the correct order. Remember to always write the type of question that you want to add. So I'm going to say Joe, and I'm going to leave 3 blanks. Okay. Right. I'm going to add a little bit more house A, and I'm going to add 3 blanks. In this case, I want it to be filled with adjectives, but in the correct order. Okay. So I'm going to say Joe has a. Make sure that you add, for example, in this case, where they give you the options of adding a picture, you're going to have to add a picture here. You can't leave it blank, or else this button won't be able to turn into a, it will stay in gray. So here we need to add pictures. But if you don't have pictures related to the topic, go ahead and add a picture just with the name that doesn't modify the information. So here I'm going to write it in the correct order that I want the students to fill out this sentence. Okay, so to add the image here, I'm just going to add the same one with the word cloud, the same one for all, because I'm not really worried about the images. I'm more worried about the information that I think. But depending on the topic, people have used this, for example, including an image and the name of the place, or depending on the topic, again, of the questions that they want to be placed in order. So in case I'm using these adjectives, I'm going to say a beautiful. Remember that we look at how the adjectives are placed. So opinion, color, and then from where it is. And this is the correct order. So Joe has a beautiful yellow Italian rug. This is how I would want my students to answer the question. Okay, so this is an ordering question. Leave the spaces in blank. And remember, if you don't have a picture that goes with the word, just write a word, a picture that goes with the topic, and the same one for each. Okay, so now we have the information here. Okay, order of the adjectives. And now we're going to have an activity related to ordering these adjectives. And now, as you can check out here, we have 10 points. So I can say that I have finished the class because it's been approved. But I want to look at all the resources that we have to add. Okay, so we're going to add another resource here as well. We have the order, and now we're going to go with the matching with the text option. Okay, matching with the text means that I love the matching options, and not many applications have these. So we have to use, this is a great tool to be able to use matching options. So here, match the adjectives with their opposites. Okay, so we're looking at adjectives again. And I'm going to, this is only text. We have matching with text and matching with pictures. I'm going to say wide, and its answer would be narrow. I'm going to say expensive, and I'm going to say cheap. Okay. And we can add another option as well. We can say tall and short. Okay. And we can add another option too. If this takes a little bit longer, so we're going to change the seconds to 30. So our students have enough time to answer as well. We don't want them to miss out because of time. So we save the question here. And then we have matching with text, and we can add one more resource. This is how your students would be able to see the matching options. They work like puzzles, okay? Puzzle pieces. And then we're going to add a resource, and we're going to do a matching with an image. So once again, I'm going to choose the same one. Choose match the picture with its opposite adjective. So I'm going to insert a picture here. So I have my adjectives here, and we're going to say good, and I'm going to say bad, or we can say this one is full, and this one would be empty. Okay, and I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to say fast, and this would be slow. Okay, something related, matching options related with text. Once again, make sure you click on the little check marks, and you can save. Okay, so look at all the resources we have. We have a couple of types of questions that we've used so far. Matching, matching with images, fill in the blanks. We have the fill in the blanks option right now. Okay, complete the sentence. Now, look at this one. Here it's very simple. Basically, you have to write the sentence, and in between the sentence, use this at to mark that this is the correct word that you want to be inserted there. Okay, so we're going to say that we're going to still use our option of adjectives. So we're going to say Maria is very, I'm going to leave a blank, student. Okay, here in between, I'm going to, when I leave the blank, I'm going to add the at option. Okay, instead of using that one, sorry, this is the link from the video. I'm going to copy this one, add the at, and I'm going to say an excellent. Okay, and I'm going to close this here. And you can see that the words here in the bottom, you're going to display a list of words where they can choose which words they want to fill in. You can use this also for ordering the questions, a sentence. For example, if you're using tenses, write the names, write the words. Everything would be in, all the words would be with the at, and they would be able to put them in order. Or I can add other types of words that have no relevance, but that are incorrect, just by adding them like this. Okay, so I'm going to say is run. I'm going to add a verb. Press enter, and the option is there already. And we have another option there quietly. And then we have maybe 3. Okay, so one of these options, they have to fill in the blanks. If you want the whole sentence to be fill in the blank and they have to put them in order, make sure that you add the at in front of each word here. And they would just have to fill in the blanks. You're going to see how this works as well. We're going to leave this for 20 seconds so far, and we're going to save. Okay, so this is another type of question. Hopefully everything is okay. Okay. Sorry, I just checked on the chat to see if there's any questions that I can answer during the presentation. Okay, so let's see. Maria is an excellent student. This is the correct one. As you can see, all of these are the options that you as teacher can see and that are correct for your students. Last resource, and this is the one that I like the most. I love to do word search puzzles. I don't know about you, but I really like those. So if it's related to adjectives, you don't have to use these, right? Depending on the topic that you want. But especially for languages, I think word searches are really good because they're good for spelling, right? They have to look for the word, they have to see how they spell it in order for them to find it. So it kind of clicks and they have a little bit more option of retaining that information. So here, I'm going to say find these 4 adjectives. I'm just going to add 4 because of the time, but you can add, you don't want them to spend the whole class finding the words, right? You want them to be something simple. You can add from 6 to 8 words for them to find. And the nice thing is that when the students are doing the word search that one student receives and the word search that another student receives is completely different. So they can't call each other now that they're online and say, where is this word? And it's not going to be in the same place. Okay, so each student gets a different word search puzzle. Okay, so here we have the 4 adjectives that describe the adjectives we want to include. So I'm going to write expensive. Click on enter for it to move to the next one. Cheap. I still am working with opposites. Tall and short. Okay, so 4 words for now, but you can include more. And in this case, we're going to give more time. Okay, we're going to give them 120 seconds for them to complete. And then we save. Okay. Now, we've looked at all the resources. Hopefully there's no question on how to do it. Really simple. They basically don't let you save unless you have completed all the information that needs to be put within each type of question. You can add videos, a text document, and image. Now, our class has 10 points. We have completed more than 4 questions for our students. So it's considered a good class. Another thing that we can do, for example, if we decide to add a resource and we decide that we forgot to write it at the beginning, there's no problem here. We can sort the resources out, okay? And we have these 6 buttons that we can move around. So for example, I want them to do the matching option afterwards. I just move and slide them up or slide them out, depending on the order. So I can continue adding resources and then decide in what order I want them to be displayed and then modify, okay, in case I forgot to add something. So I accept everything is in the order that I want, everything is correct. My class is prepared, okay, I think there's enough information for them to know about adjectives. I gave them a video, there's a little bit of information here, okay, and hopefully I will be able to see how my students do. Now, the idea is for them to compete, and they love competing. So we're going to give them the play option. Remember, we have 2 options. You can assign this, for example, you can't get to class or something happens or lights out in this case. You can assign the class and they can do it for homework at their own pace, at their own time. Depending on the questions, if you wrote a timer, then they still have a timer there as well. But they can look at the videos at their own pace, at their own time. Or you can do it online. The option of doing it online is I have prepared my class. And once I give them the link, once I give my students the link, they're going to see the same screen that I'm showing you, that I'm seeing, and that their students are seeing. It's the same screen. So if I move, the screen moves for them as well in their devices, okay, in their computers or in their cell phones. They can use it in either tool. But the nice thing is that they go at my pace, okay, for the online classes. So we're done with this one. We're going to say save. And we're done with our class. And now we have our class here created. If I want to go back here, as you can see, I have 2 options. The schedule class, which I can give as homework, and the practice class, which means they can do it, but there's no grading there. Okay, they can just practice. It's basically like if I had given the class there. Right now, we can edit the class if we wanted to add more information, or I can share the class. Okay, so we're going to share the class would be to Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn if I want to share it with someone. Let's go ahead and play. I'm going to, we have a couple of volunteers who have already talked before who are going to help us. I'm going to place the link. There's really not, the link is not too long, so you guys can check it there. And we have an option available for 100 people, okay, 100 people. So it's okay if you don't participate, you're going to participate with me because I'm going to show you the student option as well. So it's okay if you don't participate. I have a couple of volunteers who will participate so you guys can see the results and how we can grade what we have done. Okay, so there's, if you want to participate, that's great. If you don't, just look at the screen because we're going to do it in class as well. So I'm going to press play. And this is the link that I'm going to share. So for now, I'm going to share this. My couple of volunteers are, I hope, ready. I'm going to share this in the chat. Here we have, let's send it for everyone. This is the link. And this is the code, if you guys want to enter. We only have, I don't know how many are participating, but we only have a limit. There is a limit of 100 people per class. So make sure in case we don't have, in case you can't enter, it's because we have a limit there. So I think Ingrid is there, Jerry, let me know. And we have Susan. Susan, if you can also look at that. This is very simple, play.tommy.digital and enter the code. Okay, so we have our students here filling, and you can see, so far so good. We have 19 out of 100, great. Let's see. Very good, Susan, thank you for participating, you guys, okay. Okay, so I think we have a couple of them, 29 students. Now, I'm going to join the class as well, so I'm going to start with this one because I need to show you guys before this builds in. I need to show you how this works, okay? So I need to enter the code, 8378. Okay, so now you can see me as a student. Look at it, I can change my avatar. So I'm with books. So let's go with books and I'm going to say Patricia. And I'm going to start. Hopefully, as you can see, this is the student's version. Okay, on the right side, we're going to leave the student's version. And on the left side, I'm going to leave you the teacher's version. Okay, so this is my teacher version. This is me controlling the class. This is the student looking at my class. Okay, so in a moment we will start. Since I haven't started online, they can't be able to start. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and start. Thank you guys for those who are participating. Go ahead. We're going to start the class, and this is how we play. And the first thing they see, obviously, our word cloud, the title, the image that I decided to include. This is what they see. They can't move. Our students can't move anything. They just see the information. Okay, we're going to move to the next one. They see the information there as well. Okay, so the screen that I have is their screen as well. So if you don't have an audio or a video option like we have right now, that you guys can see my screen and that you can see the information I display, I can control the class and they would be able to go one by one by one. Okay, doing all the different slides that I have prepared for them. Obviously, it's better if you have them connected because you can speak to them, right? But in this case, if you weren't there for the class, then it wouldn't matter. The next thing, they would be able to see, as you can see, if I click on this one, the video starts for me, but it allows them to, the students, for them to connect at their own pace. Okay, so they would be able to see the video there. Okay, you would see the video here. Look at the video. Okay, we move to the next one. And here I'm going to have the first question, and they're telling you, you have to be ready. Go. Okay, so an adjective describes, and I have to be quick because there's 20 seconds here. You can see at the top, there's a bar moving, which shows you how much time you have. The student knows how much time, and the teacher knows. So I'm going to select this one. And at the end, until time is up, I will know the correct answer. So check it out, you guys. You have 37 correct and 5 and 1 that didn't answer correct. We have the statistics at the same time. Okay, we have it in real time. Now let's go back. We're going to continue. So we finished this question. I'm going to go with the next one. It's going to prepare the student. So I'm ready into, I have the question here. And you have to choose all the adjectives. So I'm going to choose a wrong one, just so you guys can see. And I'm going to answer. I'm not going to get a result until everyone has finished or until time is up. Okay, so I got a wrong answer because I chose a different one. Okay, and you can see that most of the people did. Okay, 45 and 42. Let's look at the next one. This is the true and false one. Okay, rich is an adjective, so I'm going to go and say true. Okay, and we have statistics there, 43, 51. Okay, 88% of the people answered correct. Okay, so we have here, and it shows me which answer was correct. Okay, just in case as a teacher I forgot. Okay, as a student, once again, I'm prepared. Once again, we have an image that shows us the order of adjectives I would describe, or they would see it, and they would be able to see what order they have to place it in. Let's do the activity. Okay, so remember, how do we have to fill this in? It's beautiful, and I move it up or I move it down. Okay, you can move as a student. You can move this down, you can move it up. I'm going to leave it like this. And time's over. Okay, so I didn't press submit. Sorry, I had to press submit for it to be considered correct. So I got it wrong. Let's see how many got it right. 13 and 13. Okay. Remember, you can move them and you just have to click on it and slide. The students have to click on it and slide. This is why we give both options, playing as teachers, creating the class as teachers, and then as students. So you know how your students need to react and you're able to explain to them how they need to answer the question. So in this case, they had to move it up and down and slide it over and answer, submit the answer. Okay, match the adjectives with their opposites. Okay, so here we go with, we move it up. If it's incorrect, you can move it again. If it's this one, then you're joining puzzle pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and share answer. You're waiting for the results. Okay, so we have that there. And there we go. We're going to look at the next one. This is correct. 4% got it wrong. Match the picture. Now this is the matching option, but with pictures. So we're going to go ahead and this one is correct. I can slide it down in case you don't like it. Remember, you can move it and click it there. And we have answering the questions. Okay, so 31 out of 62% got it right. Okay, we have the statistics there as well. Let's go ahead with the next one. This is the complete the sentence form. Okay, so here I would just have to modify that. Remember, if you wanted all this sentence to be in order, you can add the at in front of each word. They would have to place it in the correct order. Okay, correct answer. So the students is seeing how many points they're getting so far, right? Okay, let's see. Find these 4 adjectives. Now we're going to have a little bit more time with this one. Remember, the word search is different for everyone, okay? It's different for everyone. As you can see, this is a word search and this is another one. And this is what they would have to see. So I just found one. They would have to circle it or just highlight it, select it, okay? We have expensive. I can't find expensive. Hopefully you guys can. Short. Well, maybe because I'm on live, I can't do this. Short, and we have tall. So I just found tall. You look at the time and you see how you're doing. Okay, so you guys can play there. I found short. And I need expensive, which should be this one. Okay, so the time is running up. We have a minute. So for you guys who are participating, hopefully you found the ones in your chart, in your word search. Hopefully you guys could see that my word search was different than yours. Okay, we're going to give, we have a little bit more time. We have 33 seconds so far, so we're going to give time for people to answer and find the words. And basically, we have this is great for languages, for learning a language, for spelling, and for them to use these game options. And they like to compete. So I think this is an excellent way to keep your students at least interested in the class, participating. And you can see if they have been participating, because sometimes they just click on the video and they leave. And if you don't have their names and the activities that they have done, then basically you can check, you can see that they did not participate in the class. Okay, so we have everything there. So far, so good. And I can see here at the bottom, my ranking position, it's 25. Ranking position 25 out of, we had, I don't know how many students. And these are my points. Okay, so as a student, I have finished, and as a teacher, I can say, okay, the class is finished. You have completed your activities, and I finished the class. And okay, excellent. We have Gabriela with the first place. We have a ranking. They take into consideration the time, right? They take into consideration the time. We have Anna, second place, and Frutal, very good. And as you can see, I'm getting a validation point at the class once I finish. I can rank if I like the class or not. So you can have feedback from your class. Sometimes your students like the class, sometimes your students don't. And you can say, okay, they can rate it and see you guys, 51% liked it and the rest, we don't know. Okay, so we have the next options here. We have our scoreboard, Flor, Raquel, Yari, Susan, Jerry. Okay, thank you guys for participating. Lucia, Connie, and we have the list here in the number of points that we have so far. Okay, so look at all the people who participated. Excellent. Okay, thank you guys for playing. We have the ranking options. We have questions with more successes and questions with more mistakes. So we can look at this one. And the sentence that most people got confused with or had a problem was with this one. Okay, with more successes, sorry, was with this one. You can see 47 out of 57 got it right. Can you see, even though we have the English version, we have some things in English and some things in Spanish. So
Chinique.
the other one is question with more mistakes. So this is another statistic that we could use in class to say, okay, this, so we need to figure out how to teach a little bit more about the order of adjectives, right? Because they didn't get this one. So we got only 28% of the class responded. 16 out of 57 responded. Okay, so this is the one with more mistakes. So we have the report here. Now, when we want the real report, we're going to close this student option. We're going to go back as teachers. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and say go to the report. And here I can see it. Okay, 60% liked my class. There were 8 questions and there were 58 students. And I can see the scoreboard here. Okay, you see Gabriela got 100 points. She got more points, and all of the scoreboard is here. So basically, you can check out if your students have participated or not and how well they did. Unfortunately, if we wanted more details, this is what I wanted to show you. If you wanted more details on where exactly this student went wrong or where exactly, we have the statistics as a class, but we don't have the individual statistics. And this is what we have to pay for in case we wanted that type of trial, okay? So $6.50 per month. It's up to you. But we have, I think, more than enough information here that we can use in our classes, or at least in these online classes that we're looking at. And we would basically be able to see also in the class statistics what topic that needs to be worked on more. Okay. So here we can sort by accuracy, or sort by points, or sort by name. We wanted to take into account, okay, we're going to grade it and write the notes in our chart. So we have the different options in sort by name, points, and rest, okay, or accuracy. And then the other thing is we can look at the questions, like we said before, and see as a question how many people got it right and got it wrong. Okay, so we have the statistics here per question. Once again, not per student, but per question. But it's more than enough. If we wanted to expand, this is the premium option that would tell us which student got which point, but we don't have that in the free option. And we have all the questions here that we have so far. Okay, we have all the statistics that we need for us to make the decision and to see how our class went. And finally, if we want to download it, we can download it here. We only have, as we said, students' reports are not available in the free option, but we have enough with the overview class. We can download a PDF, open it, and you would be able to see your class overview here, in case you want to save it, okay? Or in case you have to present exams, for example. This is the student overview. And they tell you by percentage here, the type of question is on the left side, the percentage, how many got it correct, incorrect, and how many didn't answer. So we have the class overview here, and the information of the type of question that they did well or not. So we have the PDF file there. So I think this is a great tool for you guys to use as teachers. Remember, we have the class reports. We can go back. As you can see, I have played a few here. I have another class with technology. And in this case, I have 50 to 58 participants. I can do a couple of things. I can download the PDF. I can rename this report. For example, I gave this to technology class 1 in one class, and I have another technology class, another section, so I can say technology 2. I can rename it, or I can delete the report if I don't need it anymore. Okay. The other thing, the last thing we're going to see is we're going to be able to go to your classes, click on it again, and you can schedule the class. This is the last option that I'm going to show to you. Schedule the class for your students to do it at home, on their own. You don't need to be presenting them, and they don't need to go at your pace. They can go at their pace. So we would change the deadline. Okay, so for example, they have 3 days to do it. They have until October 25. You can set the due date time as well. So we're going to say it's at 12 p.m. or a.m. And we can, if you want to leave this for your students, you can make them shuffle the questions, shuffle the answer options, and the questions with a countdown. So maybe if you want to give this as a test, basically only questions, give them a deadline, shuffle the answers, and the questions should have a countdown so that they know that they have to hurry up. This would be excellent for a test type option if you wanted as well, only including maybe instructions and just the type of questions that you want to ask. And you accept it once you have decided to schedule this class. And you would be able to give this code. Once again, you can copy the data code. And you would be able to go to Tommy Digital with this code, and they would be able to do the class on their own. And it would be the same, like we did right now. They would have to sign in the same way, but in this case, they would move the slides at their own pace. And you wouldn't have to, you wouldn't be available to be moving the slides. They would do it at their own pace. And when you're done, for example, if you want to finish the class and the deadline is finished, you can go ahead and finish the class. We will finish it right now, for example, because you want to see. You would be able to see the report section here. Since there's no activity because no one participated in this class, we don't have the report, but you would be able to see the report option here as well. They would be able to do the class and finish it on time and have your reports here without you having to move the slides. Okay. So basically, this is Tommy Digital. I hope you like it. Once again, just let me remind you that if you don't have a class prepared and you are really in need of finding something, we can look for these types of classes that other teachers have created. Okay, and we have seen that other people have created classes, superlative, affirmative, and you can see how many resources they have included, how many times they have played this class, how many likes the class had, how many minutes the class took, how many people have participated in that class as well. Okay, and if you like it, okay, you can go ahead and play it. You can play somebody else's class. Okay, so this one has 28 resources. I think that's a lot. So we're going to go ahead and show you if, in this case, we're going to choose this one. We're going to play. They give you a code. Your students would enter this code, and you would be able to start the class here. Since I don't have any students, it wouldn't start. But you would be able to act like if this was your class, receive the results like if this was your class, like if you had created it. So this is the option for when we don't have enough time to create a class, and there's a class already created for you, and you can thank that teacher for the class and use it by yourself for your class. And basically, that is it for Tommy Digital. This is one of the many applications that we can use for teaching. This is the sort of technology class we have in PEM on Saturdays, and we usually give them a new tool each Saturday to learn and for them to be able to use in their teaching practice or in their teaching activities. And once again, giving them the option of seeing how they have to prepare it as a teacher and how their students are going to react to the application or the information that they have played. So we look at both options there as well. Another thing, an advice I would say, I know there's lots of tools that we can use and there's many to be explored. Just pick a few. You don't have to choose every tool and change every tool for every class. That kind of stresses some teachers too, that they have to choose a new tool for each class. Just choose a couple that you feel comfortable with to vary your classes once in a while, but don't feel the necessity to use all the tools. Some tools adapt to your classes, some tools don't. So make sure you look for the tool, look how it, see how it works and see if it corresponds with your classes, if it is useful for your classes, and stick with that tool for a couple of days and learn a new tool. But don't think that you have to use all the tools that are out there. Just look for ones that you can manage, that you like, that are useful for you, and that you can apply in class without having to look at all the tools that exist, because there's lots. Some apply and some don't. Some are harder, some are easier. Choose the ones that are better for you. Okay. So that's it. Thank you guys for following and for participating. I hope you like it. I hope you use it. And let's see if we have any questions that hopefully I can answer.
Thank you, Miss Patty, for giving us this excellent tool that we can definitely use. Thank you for introducing us to this very useful tool that will help us improve not only ours, but also our students' participation and performance. I think it's an easy way to capture and redirect our pupils' interest into our classes. It's fun and interactive, so I think it works really great. Personally, I have learned a lot at Miss Patty's classes and therefore improve a lot in my virtual teaching. So thanks again for sharing this useful tool. Now we're going to take some time to answer to your questions. We have one here from Gabriela Castañeda, and she said, in case we use another class that has already been created, but we need to add or remove something, can we edit it, or is there no option for it?
There's, if you choose the class, you will only play it. You can't really edit it. You can't really edit it. You can add it to your favorites, but there's no way of editing your classes, someone else's class. So it would have to be, you would have to look at the class and see if it adapts to what you're teaching, the topic that you're teaching. But there's, so far as I can see, there's no way of editing the classes before. There's no copy and edit.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. We have another question from our Zoom group. Remember, if you're on Facebook Live, you can also ask your questions. The question is from Diana Alvarez, and it says, is there a limit on how many classes we can have?
So far, no. So far, no. There's a limit on the amount of students that you have. In case there's, I haven't reached any limit so far, but in case you do reach a limit, in case there's a limit, what you can do is basically download the information that you have in a PDF file, the results, and delete the class for it to allow you to add another. But for now, there's no really number of limited classes that I have found.
Thank you, Inge, and thank you, Gaby, for your question, and thank you for your words. Everybody's congratulating you, Inge. Very nice and very well expressed. We have another question from David Cruz, and it says, do you know if the phone app is as accessible and user-friendly as it is on a PC?
Okay, with the phone app, yes, you can download the app from Google Play and you can have it. There's another option also, if you don't have internet, you can download your classes and, for example, present them from your computer in case you don't have online class, you don't have internet in the classroom or something happened with the internet, you can download the presentation. But with the app, I would recommend a computer because in a phone, it's obviously a little bit harder to add your questions and to add all the little things, but it should work normally with the information. Okay? But I would suggest a computer because of the things of adding images. It takes a little bit longer, or in my case, I think it's easier to work from a computer than from a phone.
We have another question from Carlos Castillo, and it says, how many videos can we add in Tommy?
No limit there as well in your presentations. No limit so far. So far.
Okay, thank you. Now we have another question. This is from our Facebook Live and it's from Ruby Valdez. It says, is there a way for us to avoid pictures that take too much time to load?
Well, it's not going to allow you. For example, I tried loading a few pictures and depending on the size, it's not going to allow you to add the picture. Okay, so you have to be careful with the images for it to upload. It takes a little while, so try to use the normal GPNG, but it shouldn't take, if it's too big for it to load, it's not going to allow it to load. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much. We have, apart from the questions, we have a lot of positive comments from those who are Zoom and our Facebook Live. Everybody's congratulating you, saying that it is a useful tool, that some of them will apply it. So thank you very much for this. And I think with this, we're going to finish our questions. We're going to end it right here. And we're going to go into the last part of our meeting.
Okay,
So
thank you.
thank you. Thanks to you. So thank you everybody for your questions. Right now, a confirmation of participation form is being sent to the chat box of Zoom and Facebook Live. The form will be open for 20 minutes from this moment for you to send it and earn your diploma. Diplomas for this session will be issued and sent to your emails within the following weeks. Please be careful and make sure to type your emails correctly. Thank you for attending our second masterclass. And remember, we have an appointment on Thursday, October 29th for our third masterclass, Storytelling, How to Carry Out an Online Session with Licenciada Yerly Chavez and Licenciada Wendy Detlefsen. We hope to see you all next week, and may you all have a good evening. Thank you for attending to this meeting.
Thank you, Dan. We have a final question, Ms. Patty from Facebook Live, and it says, what tool do you recommend for students that attend a rural school?
Okay, that's a hard one. Actually, it has to be. It depends on the type of technology that you have available. I have seen students play Kahoot, for example. They have a TV, and most of the students, the majority of the students, have a cell phone that they can pay, or they have a computer that they can share. But in this case, it depends on the technology that they have, I would have to say. How many, if they have a computer room, a lab, or if they have cell phones, it would have to depend on the technology that is available. Once they have a cell phone, or once they have internet access, or a lab that they can use, or a computer that they can use, basically any tool is an option, because they don't require that much. For example, Tommy, Socrates, Kahoot, Quizlet doesn't really take a lot of anything extraordinary in what is technology, but we would need to have at least some technology in what's computers and phones, at least, for the students to work with. I don't know if I answered your question there. It's kind of complicated in the case, if not knowing how much technology they have available.
Thank you, Inge, for your answer. There is one last question. Is there a way for us to avoid that pictures take too much time to charge?
I think we answered that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
To avoid, just depending on the size of the pictures, and obviously if it's a big picture, the same application is going to tell you it's not that it's too big for it to load. But if it loads, there should be no problem. Okay, so you would have to check on the picture first.
Okay, thank you, Inge. It's been a pleasure to be with you. It's been a pleasure to share with you. And again, as Dan said, see you next October 29th for our next masterclass, Storytelling. So have a lovely night, and thanks for your attention. Goodbye.